What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Wednesday. The NFL news cycle continues to spin faster and faster as we're getting ready to start this show. We get some other NFL news that a pretty decently large human, but large name, is also going to hit the market soon because NFL free agency will hit the fan on Sunday night at midnight going into Monday. For the legal tampering window, and bidding wars are about to take off. And which Titans bidding war will win? Which bidding wars will the Titans enter? Alec Pierce, I think, is going to hit the market after what the Colts decided to do yesterday. So the top wide receiver out there, the center market, is going to be very competitive. And the best edge rusher in the game outside of Myles Garrett is also going to be on the open market as well. And the Titans have the most money to spend. We all know this. We are gearing up and getting set for NFL free agency mania, and the Titans are going to be a part of a lot of it. So let's have a great conversation here. Bork is asking for Easton to have an apology letter. So we'll discuss all of this here after the show open. But you're in here, JT. We had a big waiting room on YouTube, but not nearly enough likes.
Yeah, it's
and now people are saying, I don't know why. Trey Hendrickson, not the best pass rusher, edge rusher outside of Myles Garrett. That was just I was playing basketball and I jumped up in the air, and then I was like, I didn't have anybody to pass it to, so that's my fault. So yeah, okay, Michael Parsons, I travel on that one. So JT, you can tell the people what to do.
Yeah, what's up? Good to see all of you guys here this morning. Orlando is right. YouTube is slipping, but let me tell you, Facebook friends, you're not doing much better. It's a slow Wednesday morning to get us started, but we're hoping that we can bring a little juice, bring a little energy to your Wednesday morning. Good morning, Daniel, Orlando, Randy, Jeff, Sean, Tiffany, Mr. Clean, all of you guys, Jeffrey, Sir Kendall the Yapper. Good morning to all of you guys here this morning. Good to see all of you. Excited to get into free agency talk after our mock off season yesterday. And by the way, another discussion with no smug Easton to shoot us down or, say that that's never going to happen. And then as Bork says, we're not even going to get a apology letter because Easton's just going to move on because that's what he does. But I'm excited to talk to you.
It also might take him 48 hours to write the apology letter.
I'm glad I'm here with you, Austin. Rational. We can have our minds changed. We can have a philosophical discussion on a lot of more broad stroke topics here. But it's going to be a good show nonetheless. Hit that like button if you're on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button while you're down there as well so you don't miss out on any of the other content we're bringing you at the A to Z Sports YouTube channel, like our shorts and our reels every single day. Also, hit that bell notification so you don't miss out when we exactly go live every single weekday morning. And then if you're on Facebook, we appreciate you guys watching over there. Hit that like button, like the page. Once again, just simply not enough juice yet this morning to get us started. We are below like 30% like to viewership ratio on Facebook, which sounds like it's the same as YouTube. I don't know what you guys are doing. It takes 2 seconds. It's free to you. It helps the algorithm. Send this video up into the aether and send it and put it on more Titans fans' feeds. So get as many Titans fans in here as possible. Hit that like button. And Austin, hopefully they do that, and let's get this thing going.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports here live on a Wednesday. I'm Austin Stanley. He's JT Ruhnke. We're Nashville's on-demand sports network going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. It is up there at A to Z Sports. Also on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Follow us on Google via the link that I'm posting right there. That is the Google preferred source link. So when you are Googling Titans free agency updates, Titans mock drafts, Titans draft, Titans roster, Titans contracts, Titans salary cap, then you can see A to Z Sports content show up by following us as a preferred source. That goes a long way for us. Also, our sponsors, they are fantastic and they help us out. I don't know. Our sponsors are just as fabulous as Trey Hendrickson is in that picture that he's on the graphic. But our sponsors, Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. They are online at boneandjointtn.org. And Window Nation, you get a free estimate at windownation.com for your new windows. They will help improve your house, help improve your life, and you can do it for not that big of a bite off of the budget apple. So check them out online, free estimate at windownation.com. So JT, we're here this morning and Bork's asking Easton for an apology letter because Easton has been very loud about the not really Alec Pierce not hitting free agency.
He won't hit free agency. They won't do that. They're not dumb to do that. Well, guess what? Do you remember who the GM is up in Indianapolis? Anything can happen up there.
Yes.
So
anything can happen in Indianapolis. And so Easton very loudly said last week, I believe it was on Friday. I might have this video if I can pull it up quick enough of the Alec Pierce verse. I'm not going to be able to in the right dimensions. I'm not going to be able to in the right dimensions. But where Joe DeLeon on our 4-person Friday stream was saying the Titans should sign Alec Pierce instead of drafting Carnell Tate 4th overall.
Easton's like, I may be able to help you out.
Easton's like, no, he's a Colt. He's a Colt. He's a Colt. He's a Colt. In my mind, I'm not even letting it happen in my mind. The same way Easton was trying to stop me from drafting Eli Stowers at 68 because in Easton's mind, he's unavailable, but right there in front of us on the mock simulator, he was staring us in the face. So, but I mean, Alec Pierce still technically could be extended by the Colts before Sunday evening, Monday morning, because here's what happened yesterday in Colts land. The transition tag of Daniel Jones takes away the Colts' ability to use a franchise tag or either tag on Alec Pierce, who will have a robust market. Meanwhile, Pierce wants to know who his quarterback will be before doing a new deal. So the news is the Indianapolis Colts placed the transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones, which is around $37 million. Daniel Jones can then sign an offer sheet. So the transition tag is not as protective to the team as the franchise tag, but it's cheaper. So $43 million was the franchise tag for a quarterback. $37 million is the transition tag for a quarterback. So Daniel Jones gets the transition tag, meaning no tag is available for Pierce. So Pierce is still sitting here, can sign an extension, but Daniel Jones is not guaranteed to be back with the Colts. And if he is back with the Colts on a tag, it's just a 1-year situation where Alec Pierce is going to sign a 3 to 4 year deal, as most first-time free agents do, especially somebody who's going to be at the top of the market at their position that plays a premium position in the wide receiver. So you're looking at this. If you're Alec Pierce and you like Daniel Jones, you want Daniel Jones around, do you feel confident that Daniel Jones coming off an Achilles is going to be there beyond just this year, where you can sign a 3-year to 4-year deal to stay in Indianapolis to build on what you had going last year before the injury? Or do you say, we're just like 4 or 5 sleeps away from the market where I can go see how much money I can get? And
yeah, I definitely agree. It's a fine line to be walking, right? Because you look at, I see the rationale from a guy like Alec Pierce wanting to, of course, know who your quarterback's going to be in Indianapolis before, maybe being held at gunpoint by a franchise tag or anything like that, right? But think about the 2 markets for these players. Are we really, if I'm Chris Ballard, am I really worried that a Daniel Jones coming off an Achilles is going to have a huge market, versus Alec Pierce, who is the hottest, maybe one of the hottest names on the free agency market? It just feels backwards to me, right?
Here's what I think though. I don't think Alec Pierce is going to do anything long term with the Colts until Daniel Jones is at least, the Colts are showing their want to keep Daniel Jones. It's a chicken or the egg type situation. And so if you franchise tag Alec Pierce, now the long-term contract for Daniel Jones is probably the more complicated one because of the Achilles. And so if you tag Jones, now you can say, okay, Alec, let's get this thing done here so you guys can both be together. but also the $37 million transition tag makes the salary cap situation a lot more complicated for the Colts because all $37 million are on this year's cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of the Colts are in a very weird situation because of Daniel Jones and his Achilles and the other pending free agents they have, including Alec Pierce.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them I think it was always going to be tough for them to bring him back if he wasn't tagged. And so that's kind of why the rationale behind why I thought, there was a good shot. But now that he is set to hit the open market, if I'm him, I'm testing that market as much as the Colts might be wanting to get a deal done now. I think if I was Alec Pierce, I would, and if I was Alec Pierce's agent, I would definitely be testing the market because the amount of chatter around a guy like Alec Pierce hitting the market versus Alec Pierce not hitting the market has been night and day, right? If he adds that extra juice to this market that says like, this is a high-end wide receiver 2 hitting the market, which those guys rarely ever do, if they even in fact do. And so I'll give Easton a little bit of credit there on that, playing the historical context of that one. But if Alec Pierce is hitting the market in this rare circumstance, that's where all the chatter comes from, and his price is going to go up, and he makes the other wide receivers in this market go up. It's a chain reaction. It's the butterfly effect on these wide receivers, because if Alec Pierce gets a nice chunk of change on the free agency market, what does that do to Romeo Doubs market? What does that do to Wan'Dale Robinson? All of these other guys. It's going to be fascinating to see. And I'm not ruling it out that Alec Pierce does or doesn't, I'm not ruling out Alec Pierce not signing before Monday, but if I was him, I think I would want to test the market.
Okay, so let's ask this question right now. If you
By the way, I did find the video, so we have it.
Oh, go hit it.
Okay.
Would you rather spend the money, and I would argue I'd rather do this, would you rather spend the money and sign Alec Pierce, who does a lot of similar things to Carnell Tate?
The guy that's not available, Alec Pierce?
Why is he not available?
I don't even allow it to be an option in my mind. He's a Colt.
He's
a Colt.
Look at all the guys that they have to figure out bringing back.
I know, but they've pretty explicitly said our number one option is Alec Pierce.
Well, that assumes that they're able to figure out the Daniel Jones contract situation. They're just going to let Braden Smith walk. I feel like I know that they want it back. It feels like a foregone conclusion that shouldn't be that they're going to figure it out.
We disagree on that.
Theoretically.
Wan'Dale Robinson season. Let's do it.
I think Michael Pittman, man currently under contract, is infinitely more likely to be available to a team this offseason than Alec Pierce.
Ooh. Well, that's not a hot take, but I think
that's
true.
I think that, but they're not going to let both walk.
To just the vacuum of if Pierce was available, the concept of going and getting one of the top wide receivers with all the cap space that you have.
Sure.
Would you rather spend the money on getting a receiver with known production and success, or draft an unknown commodity, overdrafting him at a very high pick that position typically does not get picked at?
It's an interesting conversation because if we are living in a world that I don't think exists, but if I am somehow wrong and Alec Pierce is available, it is extremely tempting. It also rubs me the wrong way in general because, and maybe this is just recency bias being scorned by what the Titans did in 2024, spending all that money on Calvin Ridley. Very different situation, older player, I understand. But I don't like buying at the top of the market on guys in free agency. Now, Alec Pierce is kind of an exception because he's the kind of guy that I think would be the exception because those kind of guys don't hit free agency, which is why I don't think he's going to be available in the first place.
The
King says he's loving the crew. Lock in like the show. We
Thanks,
appreciate you, King, as always. And then DJ Silent says for $5, we appreciate you as well. Says this positional value debate, as opposed to drafting a game changer bona fide weapon, should not be taken because he plays running back. Is just naive and smug.
Naive and smug. To consider the
Tell
thing
him.
that all the
Who's being called naive and smug?
Me, I think. I think it's me. Yeah, it's very naive and smug of me to bring up the thing that all 32 front offices are currently discussing. How dare I?
As someone who has spent a few days now with Easton, I would kindly say he is a little bit smug.
Hey!
I agree.
I thought you were going to say as someone who is naive and smug. I thought that was what Ryan said.
Yeah. As an expert on naivete and smugness.
Good Lord. I mean, those clips back to back just show how ridiculous Easton acts at times.
Yes.
Because I thought Randy put it well. It's like, Easton, if somehow I'm wrong, and Alec Pierce does hit the market, my goodness. So yeah, that apology letter, we're waiting on that one there, Easton. So Alec Pierce, will he actually hit the market? Because the Colts can still do something and they can get him under long-term contract before Sunday expires. So we can just put this in the chat if you want to there, JT.
Sure.
Will Alec Pierce actually hit the market? Will Alec Pierce actually hit the market? We have multiple layers. This is the classic onion show because we're just peeling back this layer to get to another layer, and then we have another layer after that. So will Alec Pierce actually hit the free agent market? We will get to all of your thoughts on that one, and then we'll go to the layer number 2 below it because Daniel Jones gets the transition tag yesterday officially from the Colts on the tag deadline day, and now Alec Pierce has the free agent market staring him in the face to create a bidding war because I'm looking at Stick the Model that we used yesterday for our mock off season. And I see that Alec Pierce, his market evaluation or contract projection right now, the highest of any wide receiver on Stick to the Model, is sitting in the $24 million per year range. $24 million per year range. So that is what that says. JT, I'll let you go to the chat there. What are you seeing from the chat on yes or no? Will he actually hit the market on Monday midnight?
Yeah, well, first of all, Nick says can't spell smug without Easton, which is a Hall of Fame chat from the A to Z chat here. Hang it in the rafters. Curtis says no, he will not hit free agency. BJ says yes. Daniel Caribbean says absolutely. Eric says no. Rooney says no. Titan Pig says Pierce will be signed before anyone has a chance. This is totally different conversation. We're having two different conversations right now. It's like we're on, is he going to get signed or not by Sunday? This is not the is he actually worth it? That's a totally different conversation.
We're going to get into that. Again,
Malachi is like, is he a true number one receiver? We'll get to it.
Onions have layers.
Yes, we'll get to the layers here. We're just on the base level of this being an option. Tall Texan says yes. Ever heard of the power of money? Eric says yes. Darren says if I was him, I'd hit the market, but something is telling me he won't. Steven says yes because Alec Pierce has competitive teams to sign with. Cam Sail Away says Alec Pierce is ridiculous if he signs prior to free agency opening. He has all the leverage.
Yeah.
Yes,
Agreed.
if he's smart. Kendall the Yapper says yes. Big says no. If he does, the Colts are an absolute joke, which it would be in their track record. Jeff, our chief Colts correspondent in the chat, says no, he won't. It was always tag one, new deal for the other. Pierce will stay in Indy.
That's fine. And just because he hits the market on Sunday night to Monday doesn't mean that he won't be back in Indy. It's just the fact that now he gets to go have a bidding war. That's what we're talking about. The bidding war is set to begin.
Yes.
Here it is. And Easton chimes in here. Thank you. I'm glad that you know the alphabet. I'm sure you've been working on the alphabet a lot with your daughter there, but I'm just trying to do my job this morning. And he says that none of the letters of smug are in his name, Easton, which that is the exact, well, there's the S is actually there. So wrong there, buddy. Easton has an S and smug starts with an S. So maybe go back to the alphabet toys with your daughter. So
damn.
A
couple more real quick. Johnny says if he doesn't, he should fire his agent. Sean says yes. And then finally, we'll give Easton some flowers. Nick says no. Easton will end up being right when he's retained by Indy. So
okay. So JT, I think there's no way Alec Pierce signs anything before March 9th. 9th is Monday. When Eastern time is Indianapolis, when that clock goes to Monday, March 9th, he is not touching anything because he's going to have offer sheets flying in. So there is no way that he's going to sign a long-term deal with the Colts at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, hard pressure. Also saying this is $2 super chat. We appreciate you. He says he'll get a bag from someone else. And if I'm his agent, I'm thinking that's true. Now there are a lot of layers to this. And I think there are teams out there chomping at the bit to go get a guy like Alec Pierce right now. And I think it would take a huge, lucrative, player-friendly deal right now for the Colts to go and sign him right now. Doesn't mean that he's going to not go back to them. Let's say he gets an offer from Tennessee or the Bills or someone else out there, and then goes back to does the courteous thing and goes back to the Colts and says, "Can you match this?" And then if they say yes, he comes back. If they don't, he walks. Like, that's something that definitely might happen in this bidding war. But I think he would be crazy not to at this point. And we'll still see, right? Because they're putting the transition tag on Daniel Jones, how they go and attack other different points like on their roster is going to see this play out. Like, are they going to be able to take, some of their other guys and sign them before? Like, Alec Pierce is not just the one free agent that they need to sign, as Joe said in that clip. They have a lot of moving pieces. You still got to kind of figure out, like, if you want to get a new deal with Alec Pierce, what does that mean for Michael Pittman? Are we releasing him before the new league year? Like, all of these different things. Like, what is going to happen with that team? There's so many different moving parts that it's just not an Alec Pierce thing. And so if I'm Alec Pierce and I'm Alec Pierce's agent, I'm going to go see what a Buffalo is willing to give me. I'm going to see what a Tennessee might be able to give me. And that's just two teams, because there are teams that definitely would prioritize Alec Pierce a lot more.
Could you imagine
where he is right
Alec
now?
Pierce, who the last 2 seasons, Alec Pierce has averaged over 21 yards per catch? Could you imagine that with Josh Allen?
Yes, that's kind of where I'm going with this. Like, we already know that Brandon Beane doesn't like to draft wide receivers, and when he does, he's pretty bad at it. So, like, he likes to this could be another opportunity for him to get another guy who maybe is underrated or maybe is punching above his weight. Like, that's a guy like Khalil Shakir. Like, I think Khalil Shakir is a guy that they signed that is a glorified wide receiver 1 for them this past year that has no business doing that. Does Alec Pierce deserve to be a wide receiver 1? I don't know if he has the business of being a de facto 1, but he fits that mold of a guy that, like, you see him go to Buffalo, he's going to have just as much, if not more, production than he did this year.
Oh, the crazy thing about Alec Pierce is his production is like, I mean, he barely crossed 1,000 yards. He had 6 touchdowns, but he did it on just 47 catches.
Yeah, the yards per reception is
crazy.
The metric. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like not even AJ Brown rookie year was able to do something like the last 2 years. He's been able to go 22.3 and 21.3 in the last 2 years of average yards per catch, which is just wild. And I also understand that when Daniel Jones goes down with the injury, the whole Colts offense kind of blows up. And so there's less production at the tail end of last year than there was in the first half of the year, when the Colts were possibly the best team in football for a couple of months, and Alec Pierce was just mossing dudes. So I'm looking at this, and we need to go to the next layer of the onion here, because is Pierce worth this type of contract? Because stick to the model, as I'm going to pull up on my other tab here. You guys won't be able to see it, but stick to the model is showing Alec Pierce at 24-ish per year with a 4-year deal. So you're talking the Calvin Ridley type number, right? And I think he's going to get way more than, so 24.5 is the projected APY on stick to the model. So that would be a 3-year deal is what they're talking about there. But I think it's going to be closer to 30 than it is 24. Because of the big more nature, right?
Yes.
Here's the other thing about the Colts too. Because of the transition tag, the Colts now have negative $4 million of cap space.
Correct.
They went from 35 down to now negative. So I think, okay, the next layer of the onion, because there are more bidding wars to get into. I think there's 3 bidding wars the Titans could enter for different positions. Alec Pierce being the top wide receiver is one of them. The next one is the center position, because there's a lot of teams that now need a center. Lloyd Cushenberry gets cut last week. The Commanders move on from their starting center, and then just out of nowhere, 27 years old, 1 year into a 3-year pretty dang good looking contract, you get Drew Dahlman from the Bears just retires.
Yeah, crazy, by the way. The crash out in Chicago is understandable.
And Tyler Linderbaum hasn't signed his deal and with Baltimore, and there's conversation about Linderbaum wanting to reset the market at a $24 million a year for him. There's Connor McGovern in Buffalo who could also be available. You've got Lloyd Cushenberry is going to be a musical chair piece somewhere, right? So that helps the Titans. Lloyd Cushenberry is a good player, but maybe not at the number the Titans wanted to pay him. But now they're about to enter this super competitive center market. So here's the next layer of the onion here. Should the Titans prioritize the Alec Pierce bidding war or the bidding war for one of these top 2 centers in Linderbaum or McGovern, which is both? Alec Pierce, I think, is going to be north of 25 million. I think Linderbaum is going to be 24-ish, maybe 25. I think McGovern's going to be over 20. And Kenneth says McGovern for 10 to 12 per year. No, not happening. Not in this world. This is maybe in Easton's mind, but not in this one. So should the Titans, and I'll put up a YouTube poll in a second, should the Titans prioritize the Alec Pierce wide receiver bidding war or the bidding war for a top 2 center in this free agent market? We'll get to that. But first, I'm going to tell you guys about Window Nation. WindowNation.com is where to go for a free estimate. They have incredible deals every month of the year to help you save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on your brand new windows. They will do many different things for you. One, they look good. They just make me happier. Why? Because more natural light, more sunshine comes in the house. We're about to get into these spring months. Here we go, spring. And these brand new windows have way better ability for us to open the windows, enjoy some fresh air on a nice spring morning, nice spring afternoon. It's also easier to clean them inside and outside because of the different mechanical engineering that Window Nation has with these windows. And they're beautiful and they're high efficiency. They're going to help save us money on our bills. They're going to keep the inside temperature inside, the outside temperature outside, whether that's hot, cold, freezing, boiling, whatever it may look like. Window Nation can do that. And it's a free estimate and a free trip to your home. They come in, they do a presentation. Roy in the Middle Tennessee market is a great guy, a no pressure situation here. And if you come in and you hear the presentation from Roy and you say, maybe not right now, then he says, okay, no problem. Here's my card. Here's my number. Here's my cell phone number. Call me when you're ready. And it's that easy. So windownation.com is where to go to book that appointment for your free estimate. windownation.com.
Hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel on both YouTube, and make sure you hit the like on the page for YouTube as well. I'm proud of our Facebook chat. We're getting alive. We're still we're right above half, but hey, we're doing good. So appreciate you guys over there. We're talking about what bidding war would you rather get into? The center market bidding war or the Alec Pierce bidding war? And Ghost IO for life says center. Titans Kyle says center. Darren says center. Justin says center. Tom Thumb says center. Caps prioritize center. Center. Chris wants both. Clayton says center. Center.
Wow.
Cole Texan, whoa. Pierce. Levin has proven to be playable. So he's going Pierce because he wants Corey Levin. Chris says neither. Center. Center, as much as a wide receiver is a need, a veteran center for Cam to stay upright is important. Bork says Pierce. Luke says Pierce is useless if Cam is on his back. Hello Lady says center. The Bears says center. Center. Esco says both. Center. Oh my! It's a landslide here, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you expect this landslide?
I mean, I'm not surprised by it, because if you've paid attention to the pulse of the chat this morning, we think Alec Pierce just straight up sucks in the chat.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. Like, can I just listen? Can I give you the stats of Alec Pierce over the last 2 years?
Bring him.
1,800 yards, 13 touchdowns, a average depth of target over 20 yards in both seasons, only 4 drops on 84 receptions, well above a 50% reception percentage rate on those seasons.
For a deep threat.
Like, this guy was this isn't like he's a 5th round guy that has made a name for himself. This is a former 2nd round pick. Like, Sir Kendall the Yapper is saying yawn to a deep threat that has put up 1,800 yards on less than 90 receptions over the last 2 years. Like that. I mean, I get maybe this is also where they're coming from. Like, Johnny says it's not that Pierce sucks. He's just banking on DK and putting resources elsewhere is all, which is fair. But I would trust Alec Pierce a lot more in the deep ball game than that. And like, once again, let's also not. I don't want to glaze if we're doing this because, like, well, the deep ball needs time to get there, so we gotta get a solid center. Like, don't come at me with we need a solid center and then have Tyler Linderbaum as your best guy. That guy gets a hall pass more often than not in pass protection. Like, if you watch just some of the Linderbaum tape from last year in pass protection, he's one of the many reasons Lamar Jackson was scrambling as much as he wanted. He didn't want to, and I say didn't want to because he was hurt all season. Like, don't say that you want to sign Tyler Linderbaum to protect Cam and think that this is some savior in the pass blocking game. I don't see that. Like, both have their flaws, and so
So look, Easton's coming out with an article on azsports.com shortly after the show about Linderbaum, McGovern, and that situation there. I did see a comment that I wanted to get to kind of go through the Alec Pierce situation of now it's going to be, Tom says, I see the low reception number as a minus, not a feature. So the fact that he just went like 37, 47 catches the last 2 years, 47 is a career high. The receptions that Alec Pierce has had in his 4 seasons are in order, rookie to 4th year, 41, 32, 37, 47. And my question to Tom, and I'm not hating on you because I think it's a fair point to bring up, it's name the quarterbacks that Alec Pierce has been catching those balls from. And until you got to 2025's first 2.5 months pre-Achilles pop for Daniel Jones, the quarterbacks have been absolutely garbage that have been throwing to Alec Pierce. So, and then after the Daniel Jones Achilles pop, the quarterbacks went back to being, you wake up in the morning and you're like, what did I eat yesterday? My mouth smells awful. That's the quarterback that the Colts have been having ever since Andrew Luck retired, which is now like almost 7 seasons ago. They've just been rotating garbage juice at quarterback until Daniel Jones. So I think that's something that you have to kind of think about for Alec Pierce in his production, yet he's still averaging over 21 yards a catch the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, once again, I mean, it's not like, and then he had in his first 2 seasons for a receiver, had 1,000 yards on like 73 receptions. So, and the average depth of target there, like even before that, he has gotten way better as he has progressed. His average depth of target has gone from 12 to 15 to 22 in 2024 and then 20 in 2025. Like, this is a guy that has reached his potential year after year.
So back to our poll question, because we're
correct
allowing that to mature, which it has. It's stabilized. It hasn't changed much in the last couple of minutes. But the question is, should the Titans prioritize the Alec Pierce bidding war or the bidding war for a top 2 center, being Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens, and then also Connor McGovern from Buffalo, the top 2 centers at the market? And there's a lot of teams that need center. Let's just name some teams that need center: the Titans, the Ravens, the Bills, the Bears, the Commanders, the Packers, the Lions.
7. Yeah.
Minimum.
At least. At minimum. Correct.
That's just off the top of my head.
Yes. I can go.
There could be more.
Check.
I don't know.
And
then
who are also Cleveland. Did you say Carolina? Because Cade Mays is on the market.
That's right, Cade Mays. So there's 9.
Yeah, that's about it. So
just smash moves of the Dolphins. I mean, you're talking about a third of the league is looking for and maybe Aaron Brewer's on an expiring contract too. I'm not sure. I mentioned Detroit.
I believe he has 1 year deal left. 1 year left on that deal.
So you're looking at just under a third of the league that needs. Rocky brings up the Chargers. The Chargers did just cut, or said they're going to cut, Mekhi Becton, the right guard from the Eagles Super Bowl year, who just signed the deal this past year to go to the Chargers, and now he's out after 1 year. So a third of the team is going to have to sign somebody to start at center. In my opinion, I'm with the chat, and I'm very proud of the chat today of being this heavily on center. The YouTube poll, JT, 77% say the Titans should prioritize the center bidding war over Alec Pierce.
No, I think that makes sense. Once again, as we do the layers, don't mistake my rant right there on Alec Pierce for me thinking that was me choosing Alec Pierce, because I'm with you. I think center is more important for this team right now based on the needs at the position. And you kind of learned from what just happened with Lloyd Cushenberry, the importance of a guy who is consistent, available, and I think veteran is something that this team needs on snapping the ball. And that's why, for me, if I'm going into the bidding war for center, I'm going Connor McGovern, and I'm going all in on him, and that's fine. If it's 24 mil, that's fine. I'm gonna let everyone else chase the shiny thing in Tyler Linderbaum, who is 3-ish years younger, almost like 2.5, 3 years younger than Connor McGovern. But I'm going to let everybody go chase that one and get a head start on the rest of the competition here for Connor McGovern, because I think he brings the veteran kind of type of player that you need. He's going to be somehow remind me. I don't know if you know this on the top of my head, top of your head, but I don't. How much did Lloyd Cushenberry earn AAV? If Connor McGovern got signed to 24, is that still
it was
lower?
Lloyd was 4 years 50 with 30 guaranteed. And so the 30 fully guaranteed was a record for a center at the time in 2 off seasons ago. But so 4 to 50, that's half of what Linderbaum roughly. So again, but the salary cap has gone from the salary cap has gone up $50 million.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to.
Yeah,
I guess it's hard to continue to
so the
go
Titans
back in history and look at that.
In terms of cash, the Titans paid Lloyd Cushenberry for 2 years, $30 million at 15 per. Now, some of that he didn't. Well, no, that was fully guaranteed. So regardless of injury, he got $30 million over those 2 years, and the Titans are going to save whatever the $20 million of cash, not cap, but cash on the other side of that by cutting Lloyd Cushenberry last week. So, you're cutting a center to go pay another center double. That's why I was always on board with keeping Lloyd Cushenberry.
Sure,
and that's when we did our live offseason mock offseason yesterday, and I decided to walk away from Chig Okonkwo when Easton brought up afterwards, and I've been the captain of bring back Chig for like months. Well, the what changed is this team needs a center, and I'm prioritizing a center in free agency over just about everything else, including Alec Pierce, including Chig Okonkwo. If you need to spend that extra cap on center, do it, because you got to have somebody for Cam Ward.
Yeah, and I think that with what this team needs right now, I get what you're saying with the Lloyd Cushenberry thing, but I think the justification there is the best ability is availability. And Lloyd Cushenberry just simply wasn't. And I think they want somebody to come in and anchor that and, frankly, not ever leave, not leave that spot. Like, be Cam's guy to help this line gel more. And so for me, Connor McGovern's that guy. I think he's also worked. He's been with the Buffalo for 7 years. He has crossed paths with Dable as well. Like, let's not forget that. Has some familiarity there as well. Like, he's my number one pick. Like, let everybody go chase the shiny name, Tyler Linderbaum, and just kind of be in the back corner, like looking at the next auction, being like, this is my bid. Let's go with this. Let's start here and go from there.
Type 383 says JT wants somebody pushing 30 to only complain about how old he is next season. McGovern will be 28 next year. And if you're talking about offensive linemen, their prime is older than most positions prime.
This is not a Tony Pollard conversation. This is not a wide receiver conversation. This is a guy who's snapping the ball, and I want him to be healthy and available and consistent on the line.
Yeah,
which is a hard thing to do, but you can still do that at 33.
Just Mash says, Austin, can we get a free agent wish list from you? You three. Easton's isn't as important though. Actually, but you guys don't know this yet, but I had this as our Friday show. Going into the weekend pre hell and chaos. So Friday is what I was going to plan on with our actual free agent wish lists and free agent predictions on Friday. So I know Easton and JT have the full reins of the show tomorrow. I am fully off tomorrow. So I don't know what the hell they're going to do, nor do I care. So,
something big is going to happen later today because you're taking the entire day off tomorrow that we are going to have to scramble. Like I don't know what's going to happen, but
you guys are big boys. You can do it without me for a day.
D. Christophel says, "Are you afraid of doing a more signing 2 years in a row, JT?" I don't think signing a center in this lucrative market is the same thing as Dan Moore. I don't know about you, Austin, but like. I mean, the market was similar for this type of thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Last year, this was the left tackle thing. They went after the shiny thing. They went after the guy who has proven production, but sometimes questionable tape. And that's what they did. I'm telling them not to do that this year and go get the safer play in Connor McGovern. It's the money is not comparable because of, like, as you said, the cap continues to go up. The markets continue to get bigger and bigger to the point where it's becoming harder and harder for us to actually compare what a deal was last year versus this year, because the market just continues to reset itself to the point that, like, even this year, like, if they sign Connor McGovern to like a 4-year deal and his AAV over the first 2 or something is like 24-ish, by year 3 or even maybe year 2, like, we're going to look back on that because of how things are going in the NFL and be like, he keeps moving down the list because we signed him here and everything just keeps getting more. Like, we're going to move the goalpost again.
Yeah, and I think you're looking at the offensive line. If Zeitler comes back, which Paul Karski reported late last week from the combine, that is a priority, as is Chig for what it's worth. If you get Zeitler back right there at right guard with JC going into year 2 at right tackle, and then Skoronski continuing to level up, Dan Moore wasn't bad, guys. Like, Dan Moore was not bad last year. He was fine, right? And this offensive line got it together later in the season, and I would like the idea of dropping in Mr. Veteran Center in the middle of that and saying, this guy has been around the block. He knows what to do. If he knows Dable's system because it's McGovern, I think that's an extra plus to help everybody else out. I think it's a great way to expedite the process of switching up the O-line again. I think that makes a lot of sense. All right, so Tyler.
I see. I also D. Christopher said he's talking more about the wait and don't take the shiny new thing in free agency, comparing that. Not. I see.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. And so, Logan Jones is a very popular situation in mock drafts, which I feel like every mock draft I've done for the Titans, I've picked Logan Jones out of Iowa at 101. I think if you want to guarantee that Logan Jones is this team's draft pick, you have to take him at 66.
Yep.
And but again, now you're talking about going into a rookie center situation.
Right. I don't think I want that for Cam in year 2.
I agree.
Just my
I wanted Logan Jones to be drafted when I had Lloyd Cushenberry as the starter, because I think Logan Jones would be fantastic after, just not as a rookie. All right. We got to keep on rolling along. Somebody was saying that there's no way we know Austin's going to be in the chat tomorrow. I will not be, because it is my son's first birthday, and that is very exciting. And we are very excited. And Clayton says, so I'm not watching tomorrow's show then. Well, I guess we know how Clayton feels about me. He holds me to high regard. Clayton shows up for me. That's very nice of you, Clayton. But you should watch tomorrow's show so you can make fun of Easton's smugness and naivety. Okay. Another bidding war that could be in play for the Titans. And this is because, actually, this is Easton. Pre-show said, I think the chat wants to talk about this. So we're going to let you guys talk about this and see how you feel. I'm going to end the poll for the Alec Pierce versus top 2 centers so we can bring up another poll. Where does Trey Hendrickson fit in this for you, chat, audience, everybody? Because here is the situation for the top edge rusher on the market now. The Bengals not franchise tagging star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson, and Spotrac had Trey Hendrickson. The franchise tag was going to be over $30 million, which is crazy. Now he might get over $30 million a year AAV, but we know how that salary cap can be manipulated and fluctuated and all that. So simple question for the poll. Do you want Trey Hendrickson? Should the Titans be in on Trey Hendrickson? Because I see both polarizing hell no, heck yeah. Bring him in here, get him to Tennessee. Absolutely not. I'll pass. No, this, that, and the other. So do you want the Titans to be in on Trey Hendrickson? That is the next question you guys can answer, and JT will go to the chat here in a moment. But first, let me tell you guys about our great friends at the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. When injuries happen in life, you got to know who you can go to and who you can trust. That is the team at the Bone and Joint Institute. I've done that over the last several years. You get older, you get north of 30, and then things keep happening. And you have those old injuries, those old aches and pains from yesteryear pop back up, and then they're kind of lingering, and then they usually just don't go away. So you can help them go away by checking out the Bone and Joint Institute. And hopefully you don't need a procedure. Hopefully the Bone and Joint Institute can help you like they did me and just give you some at-home tips, some physical therapy tips and rehab moves and different mobility things to keep you out of that OR. And they can do that for you. They've done it with a lot of people. And if you do need surgery, whatever age you are, whatever that injury is, they have the experts there on site in Franklin and online. To book an appointment, boneandjointtn.org.
Hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and also hit that like button on the Facebook page. Let's get to this because there are a lot of answers flying in on the Trey Hendrickson discussion. Eric says sign him. Darren says he wants Trey. Ghost says do not sign him. Raw says numero uno for Trey. Bring him here. Bring him to Tennessee. Happy birthday, early birthday to your son, Austin. So inject that one right there. Eric says we won't get him, in parentheses. I hope I'm wrong. So some reverse psychology there, some reverse manifestation. Just Smash says pass unless it's a 1-year deal. Brian says Hendrickson, no. The Bear says too old. 4 years ago, I was all in on him, but now way too old. Hard Pressure says Trey is going to get paid like a young guy. Good player on the decline, a Titan for sure, says Tall Texan. Always seeing the pessimistic side there from our good friend Tall Texan. Eric says yes. Skip says no. Hello says yes. Caleb says he's the number one free agent for me. A must sign, says Caleb. Brandon says yes. Edward says yes. Abe says yes. Eric says Trey Hendrickson is my top priority, so he'd be all in. Brandon says he moves the needle. It's Bankroll says yes. If we're getting Jeremiah Love at 4, then Trey Hendrickson has to be a must for him.
By the way, Dane Brugler just put out a new mock draft today.
Did he?
He does. Have Jeremiah Love at 4 of the Titans.
Does he really? Okay, Dane. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Brad says Hendrickson with Love in the draft there. Steven says no, we're trying to get younger, not older. Eric says yes, no, yes, yes, yes. I like Trey. Yes, yes, 100, 100, 100. Bustin says too old and too many recent injury history. Also wants too much money. It's not lost on me that Trey Hendrickson basically held out all of last year and then also didn't play at all. So maybe that was, maybe he's feeling a little fresher, but also didn't really play last year. Eric says, yes, please. Darren says, in there like swimwear. Absolutely. The more the merrier. No too old. No please. So there's a lot of different answers, but it seems like the loud majority here is yes.
So when people say the loud majority, the loud minority, it's usually a phrase as this isn't real life. This is just the loud part, right?
No, I was saying that as like objectively, they are loud right now, and I think that's the majority.
Okay, so
I understand. No, I think
okay.
The chat right now is loud and is the majority on this poll.
Okay, all right. So
I'd be surprised if it was the other way.
The YouTube poll is only 2 minutes ago, so I'm gonna let that keep going.
Fair enough.
I think you and I are probably aligned on this. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way what? Oh,
the Titans should not.
Trey. Okay,
no,
sorry.
No,
I thought you were saying you saw something on Twitter and it was we were about to have to change topics. Ain't no way we're doing this.
I do not think it would be very smart for the Titans to be in on the Trey Hendrickson bidding war.
Yes, I totally agree with you. It makes no sense from where they are as a team. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense. It is simply the argument for it is have so much money, must spend money, might as well spend money on guy that is at the end that is going to end up being a waste of money. I mean, he could be good. He could he could be good. I have no doubt that wherever he goes, he's going to really help that team. It's just the unfortunate part is where your team is right now, you can't afford to have one of those type of guys on the roster. Maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years, maybe you can have that type of guy. But for what this team needs right now, it's just not a reality. You need a guy because, one, you have Jermaine Johnson, you have Femi Oladejo. I would be shocked if they don't come out of the top 4 picks without an edge rusher. I think you just don't have really right now for what Robert Saleh wants to do, and maybe he'll surprise me, but in my opinion, you're going to have a big steady rotation of guys, and spending $31 million on one of those guys to probably play a majority, but still be in that stable of guys is just not, I think, smart roster construction for how many needs you need right now, especially if we just talked about how you're probably going to have to pay 20 plus to a center. You probably are going to be in the market of a $15-ish million middle linebacker. If that seemed to be true, and you're going to cut Cody Barton, you're going to go get better at the middle linebacker position. You have to sign at least 2 corners that are probably going to want 10-ish million. You got to go maybe find a tight end if they don't bring Chig Okonkwo back. There are so many holes on this team that even with the, let's just take it at face value right there. Let's say you take, and Titans fans are we have so much money to spend. Let's say they extend Jeff, they cut Snead, they extend Peter. You have $115 million to spend in free agency right there. Fine. Okay, let's say we have Trey Hendrickson.
But they're not going to, right? So I think that's what we need to remember is let's start with the 115 number, which is extension for Jeff, which saves money on the cap. Cutting
like
Snead saves money on the cap.
Yes.
Extending Peter Skoronski it hurts your cap space this year, but it is the correct move to do. And you've got the wiggle room to do it now. So go ahead and do it now.
And then with the draft class, let's say let's just keep it at even 100 then.
Okay. Cause $15 million I think is fair for the draft class. It's between 11 and it's 15's fair for that. So you have 100. Easton mentioned yesterday that we think that they would like to roll over some. They rolled over 20 last year to this year.
Yeah.
So let's say 20 is what they want to roll over next year because they know some of these guys like Jeff's cap hit's going to go up. Peter's cap hit's going to go up. So everybody else's cap hit that you signed this year is going to go up in year 2. So let's say you roll over 20. Now you're talking about 80 after cutting Snead, after extending Jeff, after extending Peter and the draft class and your rollover. Now you're at 80. Trey Hendrickson's going to be a large chunk of that 80 because it's not going to be that because he's a 32-year-old edge rusher who wants close to his years of age in millions of dollars per year.
So let's say you get that. Then you're at 50.
So, and you're going to sign him, you're going to add like a bunch of void years onto it. So you're not having him cost $30 million against the cap this year to now go down to 50. So it's going to be very tricky and that money can go quickly. And they don't want, I don't think, to spend that. They want to continue to keep their future flexible to build and to grow into this. And I don't think Trey Hendrickson is a move that you grow into.
No, I think people don't understand that, like you just said, the money dwindles faster than you might think. Just because that number right now on Spotrac is shiny and triple digits doesn't mean that that's what they're going to walk into free agency being prepared to spend.
Yeah,
I talked about I talked about yesterday, and Easton, our resident realistic expert here. He's the one who says what's real and what isn't, what world we're living in, which maybe he doesn't have the perfect hit rate, but like Mr. Smug Realism over here told me I was pretty much right on the money in terms of setting a line of over under $35.5 million by the end of free agency. So
yeah. Because that's literally your 20 rollover, your 15 draft class, right?
Yes.
So we're in the correct ballpark, and we're talking about you need a free agent edge, you need a free agent center, you need a wide receiver, you need a middle linebacker,
2 cornerbacks,
you need 2 cornerbacks, maybe 3. I think you need 3 quarterbacks, corners, a tight end, a backup, maybe a backup quarterback if you trade Levis. I don't know. There's just
way more
so many bodies that you're going to have to sign to where I don't think you can allocate $20 million. So we did this a week or so ago. Dan Moore's cap hit in 2025. I need to look that up and remind myself because he signed a deal that was on average a 22 per year, right? But his cap hit was just 10.8. So I'm not saying this is the perfect math, but slightly over 50% of the AAV could be year 1 cap. 55, 60%. Does that sound fair?
I think so.
For a multi-year deal,
yes.
Right? Because Dan Moore signed a 4-year deal. So the longer the deal, the cheaper the 1-year cap hit for the AAV. The shorter the deal, the closer the first year cap hit is to the AAV. So I think that's something you have to keep in mind too. And Hendrickson's going to be probably no more than a 2-year deal.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. The poll on Hendrickson, it has gone down. It was slightly over 60% yes. It is now 57% yes. So I think we've swayed a few on those votes. 57% yes, the Titans should be in on Trey Hendrickson. 43% no.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right.
Well, well. So I actually like the discipline of the show today to not get caught up in the free agency bidding war for Alec Pierce or Trey Hendrickson, but do prioritize the center position. That is what we've learned today, that our audience values the center position over the touchdown scorers and sack getters, which I think is phenomenal. Do you agree?
Yes, I think so. We've grown a little bit today.
We've strong development. Really strong development. Are you ready for trivia, JT?
Yeah. I guess I have to redeem myself from last week's debacle.
Okay. All right, here we go. See how quickly or slowly this works, but screen share has been initiated. So JT hit that graphic button whenever it wants to work. And now there we are.
Okay.
All right. Only took 5 seconds. Okay, so we've got NFL. That's good. Yeah, I think we've got Major League Baseball. JT, that's good. Hopefully, the NBA is a question pre-2013.
Okay.
All right, let's start off here. NFL. In 2018, this Eagles player finished second in the NFL with 116 receptions. What the? Is that Zach Ertz?
It's because they don't have like a dominant wide receiver that year, do they?
2018,
Zach Ertz
Eagles?
was balling. I'm good with
Zach Ertz.
But yeah.
Okay. All right, geography.
Okay.
Seville, Valencia, Zaragoza, and Murcia are cities with over 500,000 people from this Spanish-speaking country.
Spain,
yeah, right?
Yep.
Spain. Okay, television. Ludacris and now Johnny Knoxville have been hosts of reboots of this reality competition show. This is Fear Factor.
Yep.
All right, movies rolling. A high school aquatic star gets stalked by a teen girl after one night stand in this 2002 psychological thriller starring Jesse Bradford and Erica Christensen.
I got nothing.
I don't know either, man.
I got nothing on this one. Swim fan? Sure, man. Whatever that means. I've never heard of that.
Music. Okay. Famous hip hop group consisted of Adam, Ad Rock Horvitz, MCA, and Mike D. Diamond. I do not know this. Hip hop.
I don't know either, man. Beastie Boys? It says Bustin'?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a little before my time.
Chain restaurants, a competitor to McDonald's pies. This major fast food chain offers a fried caramel apple dessert. Now it has a chocolate fudge fried dessert in the same shape. Is this Arby's? Arby's has turnovers.
Bro, I have no idea. This is a level of fast food
Taco Bell
knowledge I don't even know. Taco Bell?
Taco Bell is.
I wish we had Ann here. Ann would know.
Bustin' Diamonds all over Taco Bell.
Okay.
All right. Boom. MLB.
Okay, there we go.
At age 40, Moises Alou had a 30-game hit streak for this NL East team in 2007. Oh, my God. Moises Alou.
This is so funny. Austin, you have to believe me. Yes. Austin, you have to believe me. I'm not BSing this time.
What?
It's the New York Mets this time. Please believe me. This is like his last season. Okay. Yes, I redeemed my. That's crazy.
Toronto acquired Jermaine O'Neal from Indiana in 2008, but traded him after only 41 games to the Southeast Division team that included Sean Marion. Mavs. Or the Suns.
Sorry, I'm still.
Dang it.
I have no idea.
The Suns or the Mavs? The Heat or South? Oh, Southeast.
Suns.
Southeast.
Oh, Southeast.
Miami Heat, yeah.
Magic?
Jermaine O'Neal of Magic?
Miami Heat? Can we run it?
All right,
Yeah,
Heat.
there we go.
Oh, good Lord.
Ooh. I don't.
It looks like Chad Brinker.
That
That is quite the jaw. That somebody has to know that jaw.
Kevin James? I don't think
that's not his hair.
I don't. Brandon
That's
Frazier?
not Kevin James. Brandon Frazier. That doesn't look like Brandon Frazier either.
Hayden
Panettiere? Is that Hayden Panettiere? So we're getting Brendan Frazier a lot.
I think it's Brand. No.
Son of a
Rosie O'Donnell.
Brendan Frazier. And I think that is Hayden Panettiere.
Sure. Run it.
Boom.
Nice. Below the 4-3 that Orlando set.
Yeah.
Someone said it looked like Easton with makeup. That's crazy. I redeemed myself. That's crazy. You had to believe me, guys.
That did have some very easy
yeah.
The geography and TV were pretty easy layups there. But we did a good job.
We did.
Okay.
Jeff did have a super chat before.
Oh, did he?
Actually, we have 2 super chats that we didn't get to.
Oh no.
Yeah. If Tyler Linderbaum was that good, they wouldn't let him touch free agency. I think that's a fair way to look at it.
I mean, but there's also like the player has the ability to
True.
reach free agency. Like we have to remember
True.
that.
Yep. And then Jeff, I know it's Wednesday, but shade on Ryan Clark saying Ravens have a better Super Bowl shot with Kyler Murray than with Lamar Jackson. Is that what he's saying?
What?
They just let Ryan Clark say anything these days, and then apologize after. Also, happy birthday, Austin Jr. The day after mine. So wait, it's Jeff's birthday today. Wow!
Happy birthday! That was Jeff's way to get a happy birthday wish.
Yeah, it was.
Which hey, I gotta say, that was pretty
good.
That's pretty savvy. So, oh my goodness. Oh, Babe says he said that in 2020.
What?
So,
what?
So an old Ryan Clark
clip came up
is coming back 6 years later. That's not fair at all.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Because I don't remember what happened. 2020 was a long time ago. That who knows what the hell happened. Correct. He might have been not wrong on that. So I don't know. All right, guys, that is it. Everybody hit that like button. And JT and Easton will be back to continue the free agency frenzy conversation on the show tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that. Buck Rising live tonight for primetime as that continues. The NFL news cycle is nuts. So tune in tomorrow. I'll be back on a Friday for our free agency wish list for the Titans going into a weekend of the calm before the storm. So catch you guys later on. Appreciate it. As always, like the show on the way out. See you later.